Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today we are watching Z Onkel E in the Yubari. And I'm pronouncing that nickname German because it has the word Onkel in it, which means uncle. Now I'm terribly sorry if I'm getting that wrong and if it's just a coincidence. But anyway, let's start with the game. It's on the map straight in a 3-point domination game mode, and this is a tier 4 battle. Now, the Yubari is not a good ship. This is a pretty good game in this ship, but it doesn't make the ship good. I will link a review written by LittleWhiteMouse in the video description. Now, what's the problem with this ship? Well, first of all, you see the hit points. It has 18,300 hit points. And, well, here we can see, for example, a Svetlana, another tier 4 cruiser floating with over 24,000 hit points. So it's like about 6,000 hit points behind its other cruisers. It's somewhere between a destroyer and another cruiser. Then what you've shortly seen here is the torpedo arc is horrible. The torpedoes have 6 kilometers range and are pretty fast, but you really have to show broadside in order to get them off, and you don't really have armor. You have one secondary battery here in the front. You have your main armaments are those two turrets. They're double barreled, so you have 4 guns each, which isn't that much. Your range is, I guess, pretty standard for a tier 4 cruiser with 12.8 kilometers. Your concealment isn't that great either, so yeah. What the Yubari does have going for her is she has access to a module called Aiming Systems Modification 0, and that increases, I think, the turret traverse and the accuracy, and it improves the secondaries, and I think it even increases the torpedo traverse. So ship really has great accuracy. If you know how to aim for citadels, that might help a lot. Now, at the beginning of this battle, see our Yubari here going towards C. There you can see the extremely narrow torpedo arc. Now, the torpedoes have only 6 kilometers, so there isn't much chance in hitting one of those ships, but there could be a destroyer sneaking inside the cap. Maybe coming around this rock or something. Now, obviously at the moment there isn't anyone inside because he is currently getting capped from the friendly team, but those torpedoes can't hurt. The friendly team has also started capping in the north. And it seems that here in the south, the whole team is pushing for C. They managed to capture it, which is pretty good news. And there seems to be a lonely enemy destroyer capping B. Now, as I said before, the Yubari does have amazing accuracy, so hitting a destroyer, I mean, you can see how nicely clustered those shells are. Destroyer will probably have a very bad time. And yeah, the Yubari really can do some decent damage with high explosive. I think it also has quite a nice fire chance. But just doesn't have a lot of guns. Which would make, if one of the guns gets damaged, major problem. And this destroyer is probably, yep, he is die. I should also note that the Yubari has premium matchmaking, so she can only match with tier 5 ships, not tier 6 ones. If you queue her solo, of course. If you are in a division, then the matchmaker just considers the highest matchmaking in the division. So if you would platoon Yubari with like another tier 4 cruiser, you can end up in tier 6 battles again. And generally speaking, like if you platoon, I don't know, tier 4 ship and a tier 6 ship, you will get tier 6 matchmaking which means you can end in tier 8 battles. Now there is a Svetlana here showing broadside. He is using torpedoes here. There is a friendly battleship, but the torpedo range is only 6 kilometers and the ship isn't traveling very fast, so there shouldn't be a problem. And very nice citadels. And look at that, there is a lone battleship and he is in torpedo range. Torpedoes are currently reloading, but they will be ready again soon. The Yubari has some nice mobility and he's doing a pretty good job right now, dodging the enemy's shells. But yeah, the Yubari is very fragile. You don't want to show your broadside, and if he wants to use those torpedoes, he has to show his broadside. So he is turning now. One good... yeah, this was a really big hit now. Those torpedoes will probably miss. But the island is now protecting him from the enemy battleship. And look at that, there is a carrier, so he can just fire away at the enemy carrier in peace. Now this battleship is reverse. He'll probably go forward again and try to poke around that corner again, which is a pretty bad idea, since if this battleship drives around this corner now, there is no way he can avoid torpedoes. Especially in a battleship, you can't switch from going forward to going backwards very fast. Which means if at like this distance there are torpedoes coming your way, you're probably pretty dead. And yep, that looked nicely. Now there is some more fighting going on here in the north. The enemies have taken point A, but it looks pretty good for the friendly team. Even though quite a few of the friendly team are still down to at sea, the enemies aren't really that well grouped up either, so... And you know what, this South Carolina might get a few torpedoes too. He's currently paying no attention to the Yubari, which would end up pretty bad for him. And it looks like he's still continuing with the same course. So yeah, I think those torpedoes will hit. There you go. Generally speaking, I would say the Kuma is a better ship than the Yubari, but yeah, the Yubari is shooting high explosive, and with his accuracy is... Well, he's doing a very good job in citadeling this Kuma. And there goes the Kuma. Kuma was actually going broadside. Now there are some torpedoes from the Kuma in the water. And yes, they did hit, but might still hit the Isokaze. Yep. And the Isokaze is flooding. There goes the Isokaze. So, fast but very nice game. Only one enemy, this cruiser, is remaining. And that cruiser will probably die pretty soon. Let's just take a look how this battle over there is going.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, I don't think that Svetlana will live very long. And there is the win. Now let's have a look at the results. Oh, Yubari managed to get 2388 base experience. Very nicely done. 5 kills, so he unleashed the Kraken. 1 plane kill. Oh, what I forgot to mention earlier, the Yubari does have access to defensive fire. I think only 1 charge, but of course if your captain is high enough you can have 2 charges. Well, it does help a bit, but only in the presence of carriers, and you could make an argument that tier 4 carriers aren't that scary anyway. But it might help. Still, the Yubari just isn't that great of a ship. Well, as you have seen here, you can have a very nice battle in a Yubari. That's 139,000 damage in a tier 4 cruiser. It's very nice. And yeah, that's 7 torpedo hits, so the enemies... Yeah, well, it always helps if they don't dodge your torpedoes. And 12 citadel hits. So, very nicely done. I hope you enjoyed watching this replay, and I see you guys next time.